this outside project?
About 3 years ago now, I think. As an artist, I'm always kind of insecure about my stuff, which I think is just part of an artist's personality. Is I always say we're our worst critic. But I was looking at one of the flower paintings I have downstairs, and I thought, that's not that great. And then I thought, I wonder if Georgia O'Keeffe ever worried about her flowers not looking like flowers.
Yeah.
Maybe, probably, maybe not.
I think part of that is you adapt it to be your own style.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you think about Picasso or even locally Karen Ellsbury.
Mm-hmm.
You know, her flowers don't always look just like flowers.
But you know it's a flower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, when I'm painting I do decorative wood crosses, like just wall crosses. And when I do those, like, one of the main things that I've been working on the last couple years as an artist is not being a perfectionist, which is really, really hard for me. And so I started this line of wall crosses, and I purposefully, I sketched out the design. They're all hand cut, and I didn't use a ruler or anything. I just freehanded these crosses. And so that way, every single one of them is going to be different. Even if it's from the same traced pattern, it's still going to be different. None of them are perfect. They're all crooked, and I like to use that as a metaphor for life. We're all cut out of the same cookie cutters pretty much, but not a single two of us are going to be the same. Single two of us, is that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean. I read a quote a while back about that everyone is an artist, and it's just we grew up, and it's figuring out how to keep that part of your child mind.
Yeah.
What's a challenge to one person might be a walk in the park to somebody else.
Sure.
So things that you grew up and it was no big deal for you, to somebody else that could have been completely life altering that they couldn't have made it through.
That's a good point.
Or just sharing that your life was great might not be that it's so great to someone else.
Yeah.
One of the pieces one of the dances that I did was about what did I call it? I called it saving self-affliction. And it was basically about if you could go back and save yourself from hurting yourself, would you do it? Could you do it? Would you be able to do it?
Yeah.
And it was just inspired from so many people that I'd known that it just somehow harmed themselves in some way, shape, or form. And if you could go back and undo the things, would it even make a difference at all?
Yeah.
And would you be the person that you are today if you didn't go through that
Experience
stuff?
it.
Right. And at the end of the dance, when you watch it, it still ends up the same, that you're still going to end up probably taking and making the same choices because you're still who you are.
Yeah.
Either
I
way.
like that.
Yep.
Every single type of art is therapy. I don't care what it is. Even if you just go get an adult coloring book at Hobby Lobby, that's therapy right there.
I loved
Art, my 9th grade year of junior high, I'm showing my age. That's the only real art class I ever took, and I absolutely hated it.
How come?
Because art is so personal, and I felt like I was being graded on myself. Not on what I was putting on the paper, but you're getting graded for a piece of you, and that just didn't feel right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you definitely, like Amanda was saying, you can totally lose yourself in it. I do much better now that I have another little mouth to pay attention to.
Yeah.
But I used to be really bad about if I started painting, I wouldn't eat all day long. Because I would just be so lost in what I was doing.
Yeah.
And my husband would come home from work and he's like, "What'd you do today?" I'm like, "Look at what I did." And he's like, "Okay, but what did you eat?" And I'm like, what time is it? It's 8 o'clock at night. Oh. I had some toast at about 8 o'clock this morning.
Yeah.
And my husband is not artistic or creative, and so he's like, how do you forget to eat? You get lost,
Yeah.
and it's wonderful.
Yeah.
We were talking, and I did 2 totally different sunflowers. Oh,
That's awesome.
yay art!
I like it.
What's the most difficult thing you've had to overcome?
As an artist, probably just perfectionism, which I've been struggling with for the longest time, and I started doing acrylic pouring last year. They're so much fun to watch, like you could just watch those for hours. But it's been a really good exercise for me because once you get that paint on the canvas, you have no control over it. Like you just have to let it go. And so that's kind of been one of my anti-perfectionism just exercises, is just getting paint on a canvas and just letting it be there. And like working on this fence has definitely been helpful for that because the texture is so rough, so like you can't get crisp lines. And I've always been a stickler for like very, like not straight lines, I can't do a straight line for the life of me, but just like very smooth, crisp lines. But that's not always necessary, and sometimes you just need to just let go and paint. So I think just getting out of my own head and not thinking while I do it, like I was talking to you about earlier about forgetting to eat because you just totally submerge yourself into it, and it's so freeing if you can get to that place. And yeah, one of the hashtags I always use on my Facebook page is feed your soul, because like if you can get to that point, that's what you're doing. It's like just feeding every part of you except for your belly because you forgot to eat. That's kind of fun.
What advice do you have for aspiring artists?
Just do it. Stop thinking. Don't be scared. Just get out of your own brain and just do it. And don't do it for anybody else. Just like the thing that you guys posted yesterday about the artist that wrote back to that class and he was like, write a poem and then tear it up and don't let anybody see it. Like nobody ever has to see anything that you do, but just doing it, just dancing in your room, singing in the shower, doodling in a notebook. Just get it out of your head and put it into life, and it'll change your life, really. My sunshine, my only sunshine, you make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. The other night, dear, as I lay sleeping, I dreamt I held you in my arms. When I awoke, dear, I was mistaken. So I hung my head and I cried. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Please don't take my sunshine away.